15. Once you found your place, honor the Lord in my stand. What then? Israel hath not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election hath obtained it, and the rest were blind. According as it is written, God hath given them the spirit of slumber, eyes that they should not see, and ears that they should not hear, unto this day. And David said, let their table be made a snare, and a trap, and a stumbling block, and a recompense unto them. Let their eyes be darkened, that they may not see, and bow down their back all. I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall? God forbid. But rather through their fall, salvation is come to the Gentiles, or to provoke them to jealousy. Now if the fall of them be the riches of the world, and the diminishing of them the riches of the Gentiles, how much more their fullness? For I speak unto you Gentiles, inasmuch as I am the apostle of the Gentiles. I magnify mine office, if by any means I may provoke to emulation them which are my flesh, and might save some of them. For if the casting away of them be the reconciling of the world, what shall the receiving of them be, but life from the dead? Let us pray. Lord Jesus, please help us take what we've learned to heart. Be with Brother Bo as he delivers the message. Give him your wisdom. Help us apply it to our daily lives. And be with all the political pressure. Thank you for still being in control. Even though you may be operating out of our will, you have a plan for everything, God. And help us respect you no matter what. In your name I pray, Jesus, amen.
As the preacher was preaching Sunday morning, there was a teenager close in front of the church who fell asleep. Right behind him was one of the deacons of the church. The pastor looked at the deacon and said, hey, wake that young man up right there. The deacon looked at the pastor and said, you wake him up. You're the one who put him to sleep. So hopefully this morning I won't put y'all to sleep. Now the Apostle Paul had a young man fall asleep while he was preaching. Paul was a long-winded preacher, and he preached until midnight. This young man, Eutychus, fell asleep, and he fell down from the third loft, and he died. The Apostle Paul brought him back to life. There is some God-called spirit-filled preachers today that can bring people back to life spiritually. Josh sits up there on Sunday mornings and works the sound system and kind of work on him falling asleep. I can see Josh falling out of the balcony on Sunday morning. We joke about people falling asleep in church. In our text, the Apostle Paul speaks of the spirit of slumber. He's not talking about physical sleep. He's talking about spiritual slumber or spiritual sleep. This morning, I want to take a few minutes to speak on the subject, the slumbering church. The church is slumbering as the world plunges to hell. Christians are asleep at the wheel while the laws are speeding toward a godless eternity. Wake up! Wake up, go to work, get busy, get in the fight. Get busy serving God. We have too much work to do to sleep today. It's time for us to wake up and get busy serving the Lord. Look at verse 7 of our text this morning. The Apostle Paul says, what then? Israel hath not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election hath obtained it. The rest were blinded. They were spiritually blinded. See, most people today have not obtained what they're looking for. They're searching for the answer. They're seeking to attain salvation, trying to get into heaven, but they have not attained salvation. Israel sought redemption and salvation, but they did not obtain salvation because what they were looking for. They did not obtain what they were looking for because they tried to earn it on their own merit and their own favor. They tried to work their way to heaven. We know that just will not work. Now, Paul speaks of the election. The election that attains salvation. This word election that Paul uses comes from the Greek word eklogé. It means the selection or the chosen. Paul's speaking of the saved. He's speaking of those who have been selected for salvation because they chose Christ as their Savior. See, Israel rejected the way to heaven. They tried to get in some other way. They took the wrong route or the wrong road. Jesus is the road to heaven. There is no other way. The election are those who saw the light. The rest were blinded. They were blinded by the truth. Now, Hank Williams Sr. sang the song, I Saw the Light. But he never did. He died a drunkard's death when he was 30 years old. We need to wake up this morning and see the light. There are many people today who are blinded by the truth. They're blinded by the truth of God's Word. Look at Matthew chapter 15 and verse 14. In Matthew chapter 15 and verse 14, the Bible says, let them alone. They be blind leaders of the blind. If the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into a ditch. There are a lot of blind leaders leading blind church members who will blindly follow them straight into hell. There are a lot of blinded pastors and preachers who have been blinded to the Word of God. We have a good friend of ours who goes to a Baptist church. And from her account, the pastor is very worldly. The pastor of the church drinks beer. He's been on this big boxing match that he recently had took place, and he bragged about it in his Sunday morning sermon. Blind leaders leading blind church members. Don't follow this way blindly if you're not preaching the Word of God. Look at Romans chapter 11 and verse 8. Romans chapter 11 verse 8 says, according as it is written, God has given him the spirit of slumber, eyes that should not see, ears that should not hear unto this day. Now, I remember I used to pastor a church in Gulfport. I had a man that came to our church, and I would pick him up in the church bus, and he loved coming to church. He had narcolepsy. He'd fall asleep every time I preached. He couldn't help it. That's not what Paul's talking about. He's not talking about physical sleep. He's talking about spiritual sleep. He's talking about spiritual slumber. He's talking about being asleep spiritually and missing out on the grace of God. But look at 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verses 5 through 8. Are you asleep this morning? Are you asleep spiritually? In 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 5, the Bible says, ye are the children of the light, and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness. Therefore let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. For they that sleep, sleep in the night, and they that be drunken are drunken in the night. But let us who are the day be sober, putting on the breastplate of the faith and love, and for a helmet, the hope of salvation. Hey, we must work while there's still light in the world, while the light of Jesus is still in the world. We must wake up while it's still day and share the light of Jesus. Paul said that God had given them eyes that should not see and ears that should not hear. They had eyes, they couldn't see with their eyes, they couldn't hear with their ears. Look at Isaiah chapter 6. Isaiah chapter 6, verses 9 and 10. In Isaiah chapter 6, in verse 9, the Bible says, "And he said, Go and tell this people, hear ye indeed, but understand not, and see ye indeed, but perceive not. Make the heart of this people fat, make their ears heavy, and shut their eyes, lest they see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and understand with their heart, and convert, and be healed." Today, people's hearts are fat, their ears are heavy, and their eyes are dull, and they're not converted, and they die and go to hell. It's our job to go tell them so they'll hear the truth, they'll see the truth, they'll be convicted in their heart, and they'll get saved. Look at Romans chapter 11, verses 9 and 10. It says, "And David saith, Let their paper made a snare, and a trap, and a stumbling block, and recompense unto them. Let their eyes be darkened, that they may not see, and bow down their back all the way." Turn over to Psalm 69. Psalm 69. Verse 22 and 23. And Josh does all this scripture on the PowerPoint. He said, "Dad, you have a lot of scriptures in your sermon today." I said, the Apostle Paul said, "Preach the word." Amen. In Psalm 69, verse 22, the Bible says, "Let this temple become a snare before them, and that which should have been for their welfare, let it become a trap. Let their eyes be darkened, that they see not, and make their loins continually ache and shake." People must open their eyes to the truth. They must open their eyes to the light of the gospel of the Lord Jesus Christ. We live in a time and age when people would rather believe a lie than to believe the truth. Look in Romans chapter 11 and verse 11. Romans chapter 11, verse 11, the Apostle Paul says, "I say then, have they stumbled, they should fall? God forbid. Rather, through their fall, salvation is coming to the Gentiles, for to provoke them to jealousy." The failure of the Jews, the fall of the Jews, led to the opening of the door to the Gentiles. I thank God that He saved Gentiles. Amen. Even in the Old Testament, Gentiles who put their faith in the God of Israel were saved. It has always been a whosoever will gospel. Look at what God tells Abraham in Genesis chapter 22, verse 18. In Genesis 22, verse 18, God says, "And in thy seed shall all nations of the earth be blessed, because they have obeyed my voice." Who is the seed of Abraham that God talks about? Jesus Christ is the seed of Abraham. All nations have been blessed by the seed of Abraham, who is Jesus Christ. Look at Psalms 22 and verse 27. Psalms 22 and verse 27, the Bible says, "All the ends of the world shall remember and turn unto the Lord, and all kingdoms of nations shall worship before thee." Now look at Psalms 86 and verse 9. It says, "All nations whom thou hast made shall come and worship before thee, O Lord, and shall glorify thy name." And now look at Isaiah chapter 60, verse 3. It says, "Then the Gentiles shall come to thy light, the kings to thy brightness of thy rising." I thank God that salvation is not just for a select group of people. I thank God that whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. I don't have to belong to this church or that church or do this work or that work. I'm thankful that salvation is for everyone. Look at Romans chapter 11, verse 12. Romans chapter 11, verse 12 says, "Now if the fall of them be the riches of the world, and the diminishing of them the riches of the Gentiles, how much more their fullness?" Many from the nation of Israel saw the riches of this world, and they missed out on the riches of God. But look in Proverbs chapter 13 and verse 7. In Proverbs chapter 13, verse 7, it says, there is that maketh himself rich, yet hath nothing. There is that maketh himself poor, yet hath great riches. Now that sounds like an oxymoron. What the Bible is saying is that you can have all the riches in the world and still have nothing. If you don't have Jesus this morning, then you have nothing. Look at Ephesians chapter 3 and verse 8. The Apostle Paul says, unto me who am less than the least of all saints. The Apostle Paul was humble. He says, this grace given that I should preach among the Gentiles the unsearchable riches of Christ. You have nothing to your name in this world to have the unsearchable riches of Christ in heaven. Like the poor beggar Lazarus had to beg for crumbs at the rich man's table. Had no place to call home. Had no food, no wealth. And now he's walking the streets of gold in heaven. He starts thinking in quite unsearchable riches. Look in James chapter 2 and verse 5. James chapter 2 verse 5, the Bible says, hearken, my beloved brethren, hath not God chosen the poor of this world rich in faith, and heirs of the kingdom which he hath promised to them that love him? This morning, if you are rich in faith and you have no need of the riches of this world. Look in Romans chapter 11 verse 13. He says, for I speak to you Gentiles, inasmuch as I am the apostle of the Gentiles, I magnify my office. The Apostle Paul is a Jewish person. The Apostle Paul had a burden for the Jewish people. Paul preached to the Jewish people, but most of his ministry was to the Gentiles. Paul preached the Word of God, and he left the results to God. God blessed Paul's ministry with fruit among the Gentiles. Look in Romans chapter 11 verse 14. The Apostle Paul says, if by any means I may provoke tribulation, them which are my flesh, it might save some of them. What Paul's saying is that when he says them which are my flesh, he's speaking of the Jewish people. Paul hoped that his ministry to the Gentiles would provoke the Jewish people to salvation. Look in Romans chapter 11 and verse 15. He says, for if the casting away of them be reconciled of the world, what shall the receipt of them be but life from death? Like a runner running in a race, the Jewish people stumbled at the gospel. But they were not totally cast away. Through the stumbling of the Jewish people, the gospel was given to the Gentiles. I thank God that God saved Jews and Gentiles alike. In verse 8, the Apostle Paul speaks of the spirit of slumber. We're living in a fallen age where the church is plagued by the spirit of slumber. The modern church is lethargic, lazy, and lackluster in its efforts to win the lost. Christians are sleeping and slumbering as the world wanders aimlessly lost without hope. We have the answer. We have the key. We have the door. Wake up and get busy getting people out of hell. We need to fan the flames of revival. We need to stir the baptismal waters. We need to wake up and get busy serving the Lord. The modern church is full of cold-hearted, callous Christians. We need to quit worrying about being trendy Start being Christ-like. In the world today, everything's about following trends. What's popular in culture? This fashion or that fashion, this phone or this app or that app, or the world is following after trends. Today the church is following after the world, and the trend, whatever's trendy in the world is trendy in the church, and church is all about being the trendy church, having the trendy music, having trendy people going to your church. Well, Jesus Christ has never been trendy. The true church has never been popular with the world. We need to quit worrying about being trendy, worry about being Christ-like. And getting people saved. We must awaken to the call of the Holy Spirit and get busy seeing sinners saved. We need to quit worrying about pleasing the world, we're about pleasing Christ, being Christ-like. Wake up and get busy serving Lord Jesus Christ. We're going to have a song of invitation. Maybe the Holy Spirit has spoken to your heart this morning. Maybe you have a burden on your heart. Let's work together to see what God can do in Calvary Baptist Church.